Hey you guys, I am back with another video, and I just want to say, like, this is today my second video for today because I have a lot of content to put out there already for 2025, and we are going strong in 2025. But today I wanted to talk about something particular, which is my road test and why I failed my road test. Like, failing my road test was like a big thing for me this year. Like, it was an extremely big thing for me this year. I don't know. It was just a lot of interesting. It was very interesting. I will have to start by saying that, before I was going into this road test, I already knew I was gonna fail. Like, if you were to ask me, do you think you're gonna pass, or are you nervous, I would have said yes, because for me, it's I am not a big driver. For me, I am not one who loves to drive. I don't like driving at all. I do not like driving. I cannot, once I get my hands behind the wheel, I get extremely nervous. I get extremely nervous to the point where, I don't know, but I feel like that I never liked driving and I never really cared for driving. So then when I got to the road test, I didn't feel any confidence. And also, I went through a lot before taking the road test. I had to get a new permit before the road test because my permit was ripped up before this road test. And so I just remember they might not let me take it. And then I think somebody at the front desk was no, you could still take it. And then even before taking this road test, I was still, hold on, did my ring light just go off? I was still scared of driving. I don't know what it was, but I was still scared to drive. I was still scared to drive. And I don't know what it is, but I just cannot get is this dead? Hold on. Oh my God. I do not know if this is. But yeah, no, I could not get, I could drive, but I cannot drive like a confident driver. My ring light is going out. I don't know what it is. But yeah, I can drive, but I cannot drive like a confident driver. I don't know what it is, but I get extremely nervous when I get behind the wheel. I get super anxious. Sorry, you guys, I'm back, but my ring light was dead. But yeah, no, I literally cannot get myself to drive. And I don't know if this is me, but I'm a really bad test taker. And I think it's just that, I always have had bad luck when it came to driving. I've always had bad luck. So when it comes to taking the road test, I passed my permit exam because I think the permit, before you get a permit, you have to take a written exam, which that was kind of easy and I passed that. But when it came to the road test, I just can't learn. When it comes to driving, I cannot learn anything. And so the moment I failed my road test, I honestly expected it. I think what happened was that I was taking the road test, and then the guy told me to make a turn, which I was great at my turns. I was great at stopping. I didn't run any stop signs. But when it came to me parallel parking, that is when I messed up and I hit the cone. And then I believe the instructor that was in the car with me was okay, you know what? That's it. Come back to me in 2 weeks, which I'm retaking it. I believe I am retaking it in 2 weeks. But for me, I'm just I don't know if I'm going to pass this road test because it's even if I do practice, it doesn't fully get into my head. I'm just an extremely bad test taker, and that is with anything, driving, written exams. I am an extremely bad test taker, which I'm kind of surprised because in college I've been able to pass most of my exams. In college, it was just when it comes to big life exams, I just get nervous and I end up feeling I just end up winging it. I don't really take my time and actually when I was up to parallel parking, I was trying to parallel park. And then I just was you know what? Forget it. I'm going to just wing it and do whatever I know in my head and just try to wing it and just hope for the best. That's what I did. And it kind of just went to luck. And it was God, why did you make me fail my road test after I went through a lot before taking my road test? And so for me, I'm just when I failed the road test, it kind of hit me oh, wow, I really failed the road test. And I was kind of upset, whatever that. And so I was just I've never, if somebody could I don't understand how people deal with, like, how people recover from failing a road test, because I'm still recovering from failing a road test, and it feels like people are like, oh my god, it's not the end of the world. No, it'd be feeling like the end of the world. I'm just like, okay, what if I never get the road test? Like, what if I have to keep on taking it? And I was like on TikTok, and some girl, she had to take her road test. She had to retake her road test like 5 different times. She had to retake the road test 5 different times, and it came to a point where it's just like, oh my god, like, I hope that is not me. And so for me, it's just like, I kind of knew, I was even telling myself, like, I'm gonna fail, like, I'm gonna fail, I know I'm gonna fail, and I failed, but I wasn't like, I was like, if I do speak into existence that I'm gonna pass, like, will I really pass? And so I came to the conclusion today that, like, I just don't like driving, because literally I always, like, I procrastinate when I have to learn how to drive. Like, I just procrastinate driving. I don't like driving, and I've come to realization that, like, when I get older, I'm not gonna like driving places. I'm not gonna like driving. I'm expecting myself to be a passenger princess, like, for the rest of my life, but for me, it's like, I'm a person that just never liked driving. Like, I just don't like driving on main roads. Like, I'm just scared of driving, and it's just, I don't know, like, driving is something where, like, I just cannot focus on the road. And so for me, I'm just like, do I need medication to drive? Like, I need literally some type of medication to make me drive better. I'm just like, if I cannot stay on the road, then what is it? And so for me, it's just like, I gotta be selfish with my driving. Like, I gotta take my medication and just be able to become a successful driver and just drive anywhere. Like, be able to drive anywhere, like, whenever, because at the end of the day, like, it comes to a point where it's just like, at some point I got to learn. But like, driving is something where, like, I could just never learn. Like, driving was something where I just never learned. Like, I could never learn how to drive, and I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is, but I could never learn to, like, stay in my lane. Like, when I'm driving in main roads, I be, like, going on other people's lanes. And so failing the road test really told me that, like, it's not the end of the world. And it really told me that, like, failure is, like, to something better. And so I'm hoping that's what it is. I am retaking it, and I hope I pass. But I'm just like, I don't know, because the road, like, failing a road test really hits you hard. After I failed the road test, I was upset for the whole day. Mind you, I took my road test on Christmas Eve. I took this road test on Christmas Eve. And I was just kind of devastated about, like, wow, like, I really failed this test. Like, I failed this exam. I just cannot drive. Like, and then I start thinking of myself, like, oh, am I a bad driver? Like, am I really a bad driver? And so I always come in the conclusion, like, oh my God, I'm just a horrible driver. Like, I will never be a good driver. Mind you, people around me, like my friends and stuff like that, my friends and family, they are great drivers. I'm just like, why can I only, and also, why is that me? I cannot drive, which comes to my autism. I have autism and OCD. And when I tell you, I feel like that is something with my autism that just makes me like, I also have anxiety. So I think that's where my anxiety driving comes from, because there's a lot of women, especially like Black women, they have such, like, lots of driving anxiety. And I feel like that driving anxiety is something that is hard to overcome. Like, it's a big block that is hard to overcome. It's like a big block in front of you that you just have to keep on pushing until it's out of your way. And for me, that's what it feels like. It's like a big block for me to overcome. Like, driving, for me, like, anxiety driving, I have major anxiety driving. And so then every single time I make a mistake behind the wheel, I'm like, oh, it's my autism. That's my autism. Like, even when I was taking driving lessons, when I was in driving school, my driving instructor was like, oh, like, you be drifting off. And I'm like, that's probably my autism. Like, it's my autism. And even my OCD, like, I be just overthinking when I'm driving. Like, I overthink everything when I drive. Like, it's kind of a mess. Like, I just tend to overthink. I cannot drive normally. Like, I drive like a new driver. Like, and it's like, I don't see any progress when it comes to my driving. Like, whenever I'm behind the wheel, I drive like an autistic freak. Like, it's so upsetting. It's so bad. And it's like, why every single time I get behind the wheel, I overthink, which is to the point where I'm like, maybe I need some medication before I get behind the wheel so that I could be able to drive successfully. Because every single time I start the car, like, I start forgetting things. That's where my ADHD comes from. I start forgetting things. Like, I forget to, like, turn off the car, or, like, put the keys in, or, like, go put the car in drive, or I be, like, reversing when I'm supposed to be, like, I be driving when I'm supposed to be reversing. And it's little mistakes. I'm just like, at this point, like, I cannot take it anymore. Like, when it comes to my driving, I drive super weird. I'm like, this is my autism. Like, why am I holding the wheel so, like, I cannot hold the wheel. Like, I cannot like, I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but it's like I cannot drive like a normal person. I just can't. Like, I would just tug on the wheel so much. Like, I would just tug on the wheel. Even when I'm driving on main roads, I have this huge, like, I just have a huge, like, I feel some nervousness in my system. And it's like, why am I nervous? Why am I anxious in the car right now? Like, why do I feel super anxious when I'm driving on the main roads? Or like if I practice driving in my school, it's the same thing. Like, I can't communicate with cars. I think, like, I probably almost got into accidents. Like, when I was practicing driving my permit, I probably almost got into accidents. Like, it's scary. I ran a stop sign too in like a sketchy area, and that was kind of embarrassing. But at this point, it's like, it's funny because it's just like whenever I get behind the wheel, I cannot drive straight. And like, I don't even be like, when it comes to, I don't even know, I'm like, how am I going to be able to drive at night? How am I going to be able to drive in parking lots? And I'm just like, I need medication before I get behind the wheel, because something is, now it's like, no, something is up. Like, something is up. Because when I realized I had autism, I was like, no, that's why I drive bad. That's why and it's like, I be seeing a lot of people who are on the spectrum who also have trouble driving as well. Like, they drive like very late. Like, they get their license at like 21. Or like, there could be people like, oh, I'm neurodivergent. Like, I was on Reddit, and like this one person was like, oh yeah, it took me till the age of like 28 to get my license because of my autism. Like, it took me so much lessons to go get my license. Mind you, for normal people, it takes them like 6 to 8 lessons to actually get a license. For me, like, it takes me 1,000 lessons. It will take me 1,000 lessons before I can get my license. And it's like, how come I am 20 years old and I still don't have my license? Like, yeah, so I don't know, like, this whole, sorry, I like ran out of storage, but this whole process of like me filling my road test was a realization to know that like eventually I'm going to pass my road test. And if it takes me 1,000 times to go past this road test, then so be it. Because like, I'm going to be retaking my road test for the second time in January, and I'm just like, I don't really know if I'm going to really pass this road test. I'm just like, I kind of have doubts. So I'm just like, I really do not know. And I'm so like, why do I keep on doubting myself when it comes to me taking a road test? Like, driving for me, like, it's scary. It's kind of scary. Like, when I get behind the wheel, I just cannot drive normally. And that's like, I just cannot get enough practice. I just put driving to the side. Like, I just cannot get myself to go get like practice driving on my own. And it's just become very weird. Like, I can't get myself to practice driving. It's become extremely weird. Like, it's become weird to the point where it's just like, okay, what am I doing? Like, what am I really doing? Like, what am I going to be bringing to the table? Like, I'm just like, I need to get my license. I need to have a car. And like, don't even get me started on like the process of like starting to get a car. Like, that is also going to be a whole other big deal about itself. But I know God is going to get me a nice car. Like, I know I'm going to get my license eventually at some point. But it's like, why? Why do I have to keep on retaking it? And it's like, the parallel parking is just what always gets me. The parallel parking is just what always sets me up for failure. And so I'm just like, I better not fail parallel parking once again. Like, I better not fail parallel parking once again, because like, something is gonna be like off. Like, it's gonna be very weird. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, I just cannot drive. Like, I just cannot drive around the road. Like, I really hope I pass my second time. If not, it's gonna be a third time, fourth try, fifth try. I don't know how many tries. I even learned, like, Selena Gomez, it took her 20 times to get her license. So this is just a process with God. And so I just hope that one day I eventually could get my license, and then I will tell you guys about that, about failing my road test once and then finally getting my license. So yeah. Oh, and I forgot to say another thing. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this with friends and family to learn. Comment down below your experience with failing the road test as well. Comment down below what it was like. Comment down below if you've ever failed your road test. Like, how did it feel like? Was it depressing? Like, how did you feel? Like, I want to know you guys' stories in the comments of like what it was like when you guys failed your road test. Like, what was it like? Like, what was that experience like? Because for me, baby, that was an experience from hell. When it came to me filling my road test, that was an experience from literally fucking hell. Like, it was kind of annoying. And so I'm just like, I need to pass my road test once again so that maybe I could drive and like talk to you guys in my car and just drive around. Also, it's like, I don't even know how I'm gonna like buy my own car. Like driving in its whole self is stressful. I've been avoiding driving for literally for 4 years. I've been trying to learn how to drive since at the age of 16. I still don't have my license because of my autism. Driving is so hard out here. Like it is so hard out here. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and that is it for this video. Bye bye.